Hello. Aaron B, AB Casting Live. Also, you can find my podcast on Anchor.fm and other sources. AB Talk to the Universe. That's where I started sharing my voice as an individual artist and as an individual podcaster. So I had a previous podcast, was very successful, and once me and my partner decided to no longer record together or make anything, I wanted to have a place to express myself still. So you can catch me on there. You can support me on there. $1 a month goes a long ways, because once I have a few hundred of you, that's a few $100s a month. That means I can spend more time podcasting, YouTubing, and doing more. So please take the second to stop, like, share, follow, all that good stuff. Okay. And take a stop throughout the video, please. I will reference my other accounts, my other stuff as I go through this. So this is a second round at this, and I wanted to take some time. I'd been in this place for a year after a lot of changes in my life, and I wanted to take some time before I broke everything down and took the Emmitt Smith framed autographed picture off the wall. I want to do one more podcast or one more vlog or one more video. So this is it. And so this is my year in review. I moved in this place about a year ago after going through a lot of changes in my life. And after many years of marriage, I moved out and got divorced. And this is the first place I moved into. So it has a lot of meaning and has a lot of experience behind it in this past year. So I wanted to share some of that. And the personal changes is where I was going to start. So I have children. They were a part of that, this change. I have my children 50-50. So I am as active as a parent as possible. I am involved. That's been something that I've changed recently, where I wasn't able to be involved, but I have actually gone to my children's conferences, to their opening, or open house, whatever, this kind of stuff. Been able to do even more of. I always did what I could, but now some of the other changes that I've made, the change to do this full time and to practice as a handyman full time. So I'll get into the businesses later, but that was a big change. Is I left my job and I had ideas of what I was going to do. I had a part-time business already somewhat established, but was not active. So I had lost some of my customers. But yes, I made big changes. So the divorce, not to bring highlight of being divorced, I don't think it's something to champion. I do believe that people should find freedom and happiness in their life and find happiness within themselves. But if you're not happy in your circumstances, it's hard to be happy. And so I think that if you were stuck as if I might have been, you should have made a change, and you should change and do what I did. Don't be stuck there. We tried, and I have a lot of love and respect for my ex. We still struggle sometimes, but things have gotten better over this year, which has been wonderful. I feel like our kids are growing, and they've always been growing, but I feel like they're growing well. That this has not, that they don't see this as a huge indicator of a bad life or something bad that happened. I think that it's difficult to go back and forth. However, that change, I think, in the long term, in the long run, has benefited everybody and will continue to benefit us all. The change to leave my job has given me freedom. So having freedom and now being in a position to create more financial freedom for myself is a huge change. It's a huge leap with faith. And I don't take leaps of, because I leap with it, and faith is God to me and is love. And I leap with love. I leap with God on my side. I leap with the energy on my side, all this stuff that, so anyways, so I took this leap, financially, I've had to do a lot, and I'm under a lot of, I would say I could be under a lot of stress, and at times I do stress it, but I know and I believe in the process. So that change I had to do. So I left the company I was with for 5.5 years, and one of my longest tenures somewhere. But I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a wanderer. I'm a journeyman. I like to do different things. I don't like to stay in one place. So, but I made a lot of personal changes last year, and I'm grateful for them, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the uncomfortable situations that came about. Sitting alone for the first time in many years, for multiple times, and having time to feel, or sometimes feeling alone, and then the connections or the experiences that I had afterwards um, were good. And the nature of having um, to get yourself financially free can be uncomfortable at times. And it means doing things other people won't do, and doing things other people aren't willing to do, and hustling harder. And you can hustle hard, but also it's getting your mind right, taking care of your body and your health, um, your processes, your thinking, your beliefs, and your subconscious. Because if you don't, the subconscious I ended with, because your subconscious has a way of playing tricks on you constantly. And if you're not aware, you'll basically be like running around in a circle, because it'll be hurting you. It'll stop you from really obtaining. It'll be like, oh, but you're scared, or oh, but what, this could come out this way. And so it stops you, and it stops the universe, and it stops the energy, and it stops all the momentum that you need to fulfill your dreams. So these are things I've been realizing. I've experienced in ways, and I've tested them in smaller proportions. I've seen them act in larger proportions in my own life. And that's the main reason I have taken a stance and making change in my life, because I don't allow that. And I don't want to have that anymore, have any control in my life. Like I want control. Like I want the real me, the higher me, the healthy, happy me in control. So I address those things. So the uncomfortable brought to me a lot of challenge of my character, and really knowing who I was and who I wanted to be, and being my higher self. And that's what it is. This isn't like an act or a play. It's like, deep down you have more to it, and you have more to offer, and you have more to give, and you got to find that, and you got to be that. So that's me being uncomfortable, built this really showed me what I was made of. And sometimes I wanted to crumble, and at times I cry. I didn't cry. I still do sometimes, and that's normal. So going through divorce, there's a lot of guilt, looking at having time to reflect upon some of the situations, and knowing that you're a creator in life, and that you were just responsible for not creating something different. However, letting go of the guilt that I might feel towards myself for that, because knowing that I didn't know better, and that I'm just here learning and experiencing. So it's come like a full circle. So it's like, oh yeah, you had this guilt, and it's like, yeah, but Aaron, you were doing the best you could with what you had, and now you have better, and now you're going to do better. And that's the thing, is like, there's no wait, like cut the anchor, dude. That shit was yesterday. And I'm going to say this early on this one. The past was the past, right? Right now is the present, and it's a present, right? And the future is unknown. And just be present, and be grateful for the present of life. Like, you're here now, live it, like, what's aching you today? Okay, that happened. It's past. It's gone. Be present today, right now. So the uncomfortable situations, and the uncomfortable times, and the overabundance of emotions and feelings that I get have led me to understand a lot. So, but it's built character, and it's also forced me to learn more about myself and understand about myself. And a lot of the uncomfort, and oftentimes the uncomfort, is just who I am inside of me, and what I feel around me, and what I pick up from the energy around me. So anyways, not to dive into all of that. So the uncomfortable also showed me a lot about my temperament and my emotions. And if I had any hypocrisies, often they would come out if I was being hypocritical, if I held someone to something, but yet not myself. And so, but the most recent information I got, which has been the most helpful because it's the cycle that I kept falling back into no matter what I was doing, which was anger and the emotion of anger and how it was impacting my life and how it affected me and how I viewed it and the beliefs that I had that were false rooted, that weren't true, and that were just as if I knew because something happened to me or because someone made me angry, I knew it was going to happen down the road, and therefore I was angry about it and I expressed it. And I understand where my responses come from I've experienced them. However, but if I'm just able to look at the emotion and recognize it has no service in my life and just kind of observe it and okay, I'm angry because this person does this. Well, hey, this person just doesn't fully understand. And oftentimes, and most of the time, that's just exactly what it is. And most of the time, you don't understand what they're going through. They could have a knife in their back, and that's why they put a gun to you. You just don't know. And you don't understand fully because we're all having this phenomenal, exponential experience, but there's just so much going on. And so, uh, some of this belief that basically what I'm going to refer you anyone that's interested in that portion of this conversation of this video. Noah Elkrief is who I found. Noah Elkrief, Elkrief, and he basically breaks it down for you. And he breaks it down in a good way. And he breaks it down to 3 steps and 3 ways to get over it. I got notes here, but this is my review. So I'm reviewing that this was a very impactful thing. And especially recently, as I saw anger coming about. And the other aspect of that was the balance and having personal time for myself, which is essential for me to heal and re-energize. And so, but that was a huge impact to my, anger has impacted my life. And I started to realize all the responses I've had angry and all the smirky, all of the cynical, all of the kind of taking a shot back at people, or just my inability to explain myself and recognizing it's because I'm angry. So when I'm angry, I'm pretty awful. And so but having this awareness of it and this continued, like I've dealt with it. I've been trying to deal with anger for a long time. And I always feel like, okay, yeah, I understand it more, but it's like, I kind of like built levels to understanding. And I'm like, this is another one that's right now really constant in my mind. And it's allowing me to just forgive and really forget, like really move on. It's like, dude, the guy didn't understand, man. He doesn't know where I'm at. He didn't realize that him not fulfilling that promise or that that what we thought we're going to do that didn't work out, like it's not the end of the world. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to darn sure do something about fixing it. I didn't, there was, so like, but I don't have to be angry at the guy. It's just like, yo, he just didn't understand. And like, honestly, I didn't take the time to explain it and I didn't make that be known. And what I recognized was what I was limited in and why I didn't obtain what I might have needed. And it's that subconscious sometimes. Sometimes it's just my lack of proactivity, lack of follow through. So I got to be urgent. I got to be vigilant about what I need. I don't say vigilant, but I got to go after what I need, and I got to make sure I go after it and make sure I get what I need. So my take there was. So I talked about changes, the uncomfortable and the anger, but these also have brought about because I've learned some practices and started doing techniques and meditation and breathing and the Zen swing and some other exercises. They've brought about some really beautiful experiences too. And so that's the beauty of it all, is you get to grow from it all. And so I've had some spiritual experiences. I've had some just moments of really clear understanding of my intention and my purpose. And it's like sometimes I'm like getting lost and it's like comes like this real hard vision, or this just like thought that I can see. And so that's a vision, I believe. And it's just like, dude, this is going to be all right. And then there's also these just strong energies of calmingness, I would say, of like, it's okay, dude, you're going to be fine. and it's like the reassurance from a higher, from God, I guess, if that's the term you would use. So, yeah, so that obviously, as I'm explaining what I've gone through and what I've experienced, I've taken on a lot of different people I follow and support, and I think they've been impactful to my success, to my staying the course, to my figuring it out, to there's a lot of personal relationships I've had, and a lot of people personally to me, my family, my loved ones, my brothers, my sisters. They have inspired me. Sometimes people don't realize where they're at, but when you can see someone in even a worse spot than you overcome a hurdle, it's got to be motivating. And it's not like it's to give and a take. It's a give and receiving relationship with all of them. And in every relationship that I'm in, I try to honor that it's both to give and receive. And I believe that I do bring that to the table with my relationships, or that's my intention always. And so I'm grateful for those siblings, my mother, my father, my step folks. Like, you guys mean the world to me. My cousins, aunts, and uncles, those that give me a shout out, those that like my stuff, that share my stuff, those that have bought my stuff, which I will explain more, but my stuff, but those that take the time to support me in all different ways. I appreciate that. So, I mentioned that there's just a ton of ways. Well, there's more, because I don't just stand here and ask for someone to give me money or give me $1 every month. It's not really like that. It's like, hey, I want to create a living wage for myself, and I want to put information out, and I want to share with y'all, and I want to dive into these other people who have impacted me, and I want people to be able to hear that message and not necessarily have to follow the whole gambit, but get what they need in life out of it. So I want to reach other people, and those are the means. Other relationships I've had is, some of them I've lost some relationships, and some of them have kind of died down, but I have also had the opportunity to gain some wonderful ones, some inspiring ones. And I've grown stronger in others. So it's just been fine. It's been like, I don't mean fine like that. It's just been, it's the bad stuff is not so bad. And that's what I mean. Like, it's fine. Like, dude, we look at everything so critically, every move, every relationship, every doll, everything is so, a lot of times, overdrawn, like, to the value of it, to our emotions at least. We need to value them, but we don't have to get our emotions so wrapped up. So anyways, I miss some of those people that I am not close with. I'm super grateful for those that I am close with, or that I still remain in touch with and get inspiration from. So big shout out to my brother up here, or down here where I'm at, Pepe, and then his family, Ava, Bolilu, Lotus Lily, and one more on the way, which is name's not been announced to the best of my knowledge, but they're the Dutch hippies, and they were very inspirational, and I'll get into that after I run down this shout out of other people. But they've inspired and almost helped me formulate my plan to move on and move forward. And so I got to give a big shout out to them. A lot of people I'm not close with, and some people, it's just their ideologies that I've been following, but I've just had such a broad view, and it's been so helpful for me, and it's helped me open up and understand life and what's really going on here. And I have this saying that I posted like forever ago, but it's, nothing's happening but God. And so the best definition of God is that it's everything. And so it's pretty cool, man. So that understanding got solidified by someone I was listening to, and really recently. Now, I've listened to and heard of The Law of One and Ra before, but when I started following on YouTube after watching Noah Elkreef with the anger management stuff, I found this guy Aaron Abke, and he basically explained life as it is to me. It correlates with Jesus Christ, with um, other people in history. It correlates to ancient history, to ancient wisdom, to metaphysics and science as we now are starting to understand it. Um, yeah, it just dives in, and it's pretty cool. And it's like on the surface, like I think a lot of people can understand it. So I think it's good, just like if you were curious about what's like a bigger understanding, like we just like in religion, in Christian religion, you're just like, oh, heaven. Like, well, you want to really try to understand what heaven is? Like, go for it. It's there. These people are able to explain it. There's like books about it, and there's ancient information about it. So it's beautiful. And there's also people that and I think it's hard for sometimes for religious people to swallow, but we used to talk about it, and it's talked about in the books, but there's people that get messages from God, and there's people that are literally called channelers, and they're like talking to higher consciousness systems that used to be a person that has now raised so high that they're even like emerged consciousness, like they're the brother of Christ, if that makes sense. And that high level of consciousness that came to this earth and this dimension and density and lived here. And Christ did come here as the Son of God to save us, to show us all this stuff. And some of it was taken out of the books, but I don't want to dive into that whole topic right now. But check out the Book of Thomas and the other books that came out that have multiple stories about Jesus Christ in them. You should check it out. It's very beneficial. And I think as a spiritual person and even as a religious person coming from a religion, I believe that opening your minds to the higher, like they couldn't have written the Bible for like somebody that was starting to understand a higher level. They had to write it so it was generally understandable. So you have to recognize that as just as a person with growing intellect and growing interest, that there probably is a little more. So that's why I'll have a conversation with a preacher, the preacher that had married me and my ex. Like I love talking to him because like he's definitely got stuff to tell me and explain to me, and then I have questions for him that I want to see how he answers or what his understanding of it is. And it's beautiful. So shout out to you, Mr. Armstrong. You're the man. So I mentioned Aaron, Noah, and then some other people, man. There's just so many cool people. But all right, just Eckhart Tolle. Like you could just follow Eckhart Tolle or hashtag Eckhart Tolle, and like the dude's just loaded with wisdom. Like he came here to share this information with those that were wanting to hear more, and he's just blessed with lots of knowledge. I couldn't even name one piece or one quote or one inspiration. It's like nonstop. So check that dude out. I like to stay diverse, and this is why Sadhguru, Deepak Chopra. I follow Napoleon Hill is obviously no longer alive, but his teachings and his books. Gary V. I mean, like if you just need to get up in the morning and need a reason to like it's like an extra cup of coffee, pretty much. Like just listen to Gary V talk about something, dude. He's one of the realest. And what's cool is he's like super like, if you're just like average American, and not to be like profiling, but like if you're just average dude like me, like and I think everybody, because he just gets along with everyone. Like if you're just an average dude, or you're just open, or you're cool, or even a businessman, like you can respect the dude. He just comes it's attractive from all angles, I think. So anyways, Gary V's the shizzle dizzle. I also did not write down Lewis Howes. Like I was hopping on Twitter the beginning of this year, and he was like just every day sending a good message, and then would like write something back to me and like respond and be like, yo, thing. And it's just like, oh, that's great. I appreciate you for noticing, or whomever's running his account for noticing. But it was just nice. And the messages were great and inspirational. There's a huge list. I think like someone that I strongly like, I don't know if you should coin people as mentors or whatnot, but there's someone that Troy Casey, and he's at Certified Health Nut out in California. It's just like the realest practices and just funny stuff. And, like butthole tanning, like, but it's like healthy stuff. It's like he's just trying to show people all different aspects of life. But the Zen swing, ape arms, the different breathing, dragon's breath, um, meditation, mantras, healing, just everything, health, holistic food. It's funny because it's like my whole aspect in life was like to kind of create something. Like I was like, I just want to help people. And I think that you can help them in all different angles, and you just create this like well-rounded repertoire of things that you can, offer people, And so I didn't quite have it all figured out, like Troy's been putting together. Um, but that's what's so awesome is I seen him, and now I'm inspired and I'm motivated, and I've been doing what I feel I do. But I've been like his information, but has been awesome. But his practices have been helpful. So Troy Casey is doing it up, and that's why I'll like give him a shout out, or like I buy tea with his code, and then I'll like share it with other people. It's like, I could probably be like, yo, I want to capitalize on this, but like, I just want to share it. This guy's sharing with me all this knowledge and ancient stuff too. Like some of it's like, you just not going to pick up unless you go look for it, but he's like in one place and he has a lot of it, because it seems like he's been seeking and searching and finding more about himself and having a really cool experience. So those are kind of my shouts out. There's a lot of people online that I appreciate, those that like the old friends and the new friends, and some like that I just like made online, like that just come around and say thanks and hey, thank you for this. Like, you guys don't know how inspirational that is. That's like, yo, get up and do another video. Hey, it's like someone, and it's awesome because I think that's like God talking to me in a way too. It's like inspiring someone to like comment on something, but it'll be like, hey man, this was wonderful today. And it's like, and then I kind of stop afterwards and like, I got to do more. I got to do more. And I'm doing what I can do. But it's just like when I have time, like making time for it. And it's like, or doing a shorter video. Yeah, I got to give a shout out also. I just like vocally finally reconnected with a really good buddy and someone that we've been like in touch with. But like, it's been like hey man, you're an awesome musician. And hey, I kind of share all his videos. But Chris McCarty, he's coming out with new music. He's got a new song out on iTunes. And he's also just putting together a beautiful practice. Like I mentioned, both my brothers give back and do things in the community, which are amazing and inspirational. I just want to mention that because I was going to mention that Chris is doing this too. And it's like my brothers, and not say that my brothers, because there's more than it's not just the blood brothers, but my brothers are all doing really good things. I created a group on Facebook, and I didn't even mention all you guys' names, but you guys, like, I created an Inspire Me group, and it's, I hope that it grows, and if it doesn't, it is what it is. But it was just to let some people know that they've inspired me, and some of them people I couldn't add, and but I got a couple guys, and it's like, if I look at it, it's like, man, what a motley crew, and they're all from different places, they're different ages. A lot of us are similar, within a 5 to 10 year span, but then there's the guy that was kind of like my brother's mentor, which my brother, helped mentor me in a lot of ways. So it's like these people that had impact in our lives, and it's like, hey, and the whole concept is just inspire them or inspire me, every day. Like, hey, give me something inspirational. So my boy Cody, he's an author, and he's got a group. I'm really bad with. I'm not bad. I don't want to say that. I'm going to work to improve on my taking notes and being prepared. But Cody Motivation, and he's dope, and he's overcome a lot, and it's amazing to see. I just know from the day we met as teenagers in high school that he was already overcoming obstacles. So, anyways, that's good stuff. Check out the ring, guys. I can't reach that phone; it's too far away. So, anyways, that one doesn't go off much, but maybe that's one of my fans, supporters, or customers, or that's needing something. So, all right, so hitting the 30-minute mark, and I know that's when it gets boring. So there's something, I'm gonna wrap it up shortly. The relationships are awesome. I've mentioned the spiritual growth and the opportunities. Those are just some of the things I've followed and the people I've been following and watching their videos and their information. And I don't limit it to them, but those are like off the head, like who you could think of right off the rip. the people that have influenced me this year. And that's why I wanted to make this as the 2019 year end review, or my year in review, because I wanted to share what's been impacting my mindset for those that are watching my videos and watching other things, or that are interested in what I'm talking about and doing. Like, I just wanted to wrap it up. So before I moved. So the spiritual growth has been amazing. Some experiences, I just feel more connected. And I've always felt connected, but I felt there was more, and there was some things that I needed to learn. And I feel like now that I've processed this, and I'm working through the past things, my emotional uh, attributes, and my learning how to process emotions from the past, but also learning how to deal with the anger, which was the strong one that was really detracting for me. And then love versus fear. Anger comes from fear. So anger is derived out of fear, understanding all this stuff and just putting the dots together, and the law of one. Well, give me 1 second. This might be an emergency. Definitely not an emergency. Interrupted my video. Goodness gracious. Telemarketing. That one does ring a lot at certain times, just for someone trying to get through to sell me something. So that's what I was going to close out with. Anybody that stayed this long, I'm going to go ahead and give you, I have a 25% off, no spacing, all caps, at abundanceloveandlight.com. That's www.abundanceloveandlight.com, where we have a few people I didn't mention. Mark Burdett, Fine Art, at Mark Burdett Fine Art, or Mark Burdett, who represents Mark Burdett Fine Art, at Jans Wood Art, which is one of my brothers, Jack Jans, not my blood brother, but grew up with my brother, and grew up with him as well, playing ball and having some good times, man. Some two-a-days, some choir camp trips between two-a-days, definitely some high school stuff, and shenanigans were great. So anyways, but we've reconnected. So he's got some wonderful wood art, and but also has some really cool stuff. So we just kind of like transposed it onto some clothing and made a little collection of his stuff. I'm going to work to develop a little bit more. But right now it's just really personal for us. And but I want to mention that because it's just a cool connection. And it's kind of what I'm looking to do with my storefront, and that I've connected with Mark Burdett. It's my first artist, which I'm uberly grateful for him, for eternally grateful. Like, he just gave me some art and said, let's go to town, and what it can become, what it will become, is going to be amazing. So that's why I'm kind of like, I want to mention them, and I want to keep them in the praises, because they've given me the ability to work with their names or with their stuff. And I think that's an honor. And I created my own collection, or my own style of stuff, and I just call it Art Life Collection, or Art Life. And it's just my original hand. I just hand drew some stuff, and then I took a photo and digitally enhanced it and made it in a couple of different designs. So it's a cool design. It's close to home. It actually, when I look into it, I see a lot more, but it was a cool vibe there that I made. So I'll be elaborating more on that, and growing more there. And we'll have more opportunities. But I wanted to mention, I am looking for artists. So if anyone's interested in collaborating, basically your collection can be a part of the collections. And I'm just also looking for like people that want to work together, that want to work on stuff and work hard on it, and people that want to like become something with their art. And I don't mean that in a negative way but people that want to use their art to generate a new stream of income, I guess. Because you become something as soon as you create. That's my ego mind saying something, but I want to help people create wealth. I want to help artists create wealth. I want to help support them, and I want them to help support me. So I'm looking for artists. So you can contact me on Instagram at @AaronB_TheAB. You can check out my other exciting work, my resin art, signboards, canvas paintings, wood burning, all kinds of stuff that I've been diving into from my inspiration since I left the steady job and went to doing handyman business and art. And so you can check out that stuff there, but take a look there. Other contact information, 954-330-6725, text or best or WhatsApp. And yeah, so I wanted to just I had kind of wrote this up differently and recorded it, and had a mic malfunction, so that's why I went live this time. But I want to say this is my year in review. I think that everyone in life, we all have obstacles, we all have things to overcome, but there's really some peace in certain messages, and I'd encourage you guys to seek those peaceful messages, and knowing like we're all connected, we're all one. Looking at it, so everybody, look at every other person as if they're another version of you. Can you fathom what that means and what that does to your mindset? Can you understand that the person, quote unquote, robbing you or did something wrong that you can't let go, that they just don't understand, or that they have a knife in their back, or they just are messed up, or maybe they're like a lot of us, stopping and medicating or using drugs or alcohol or caffeine or sugar to enhance so much that our minds are scrambled. So anyways, just maybe it's just about that, and that's my year in review. Is got into a relationship after my divorce, and like it's changed a lot, but like it's so awesome because I have this super found respect for this woman, and there's no negativity. There's like, oh, like we would get negative times, and that's why things just happen really fast and all that. And she said, "Oh, things happen too fast." And I said, "Things happen fast, just right on. They were right on time, and it was beautiful how it happened." And what can come of it still is unbeknownst to me, because the future is unknown. But presently, I just have nothing but love for this person and appreciation, and I try to offer my support yet not be an enabler. And so that's what we do. And right now we have, we're just in good terms and doing our stuff. And it's allowed me to focus. It gives me the time to sit down here anytime I need to or I'm available. So I appreciate that. And so I guess what I was saying is like, the wrap this year up, like, dude, when you get to a point, or when you can get to the point where no matter what comes at you, like, you're going to be okay, and you know that, and but you feel it, like you don't have to convince yourself. You're just like, it's going to be okay, you know? And then you start to know yourself and become aware of yourself to the point where you don't respond the same, you don't react the same, you create a better plan, you work harder, you stay more inspired, you do more. So I just, I think that also needs to be said with, that comes from, letting go of guilt, letting go of anger, and loving yourself. And I think that loving yourself, I think that when you love yourself, you do all those other things naturally. So love yourself, find the way to love yourself, continue to improve. Nothing happens overnight. I myself have a lot to work on. Thinking about that, like the mind, body, and the spirit. And your mind body operates together, as if you were to listen to Deepak Chopra, and it's like there's not one without the other. And the spirit is like there, and then there's the soul. Yeah, that's why I'd love to have a conversation about this. But anyways, like, you got to take care of your mind, your body, and the spiritual connection, and all these things, however you want to label it, if it's a trinity, or if you want to just, that's why I just stay broad, but like, got to work on all of it. So I'm inspired. I've connected, something that I mentioned, Chris, the musician, he just, just put some things in a different perspective, and I'm going to revisit those again. And that's what, quiet time and some changes sometimes that don't seem good or seem uncomfortable, sometimes they're the best thing for you. So anyways, I just wrap this up on this YouTube live for my year in review. I hope that people, when they chime in and take a listen to this, that they enjoy. And once again, check out the website, check out the social media. I'm on Facebook too. local handyman in Central Broward in Florida. So if you need a hand, holler at me for that too. I'm very customer oriented. You can see I'm a person of love and light. Check out my podcast. You can support me there. You can also buy wonderful pieces, inspirational art gear, and more on the websites and or through reaching me. So give us a shout, give us a look. Peace. I want to appreciate all those. Again, give a quick shout out. Thank you all those that have supported me, those that have written me messages of encouragement, those that have said how much I've encouraged them. You guys, this is the life experience that I'm looking for. To share love, to share wisdom, to share, just to share and connect, and that's that. So peace, love, and light in stream now.